Welcome back to the channel. Today is June 20th, 2026, and today I want to talk about the Stronghold Token, ticker symbol SHX. Before we get started, I am an amateur trader and investor. I have a day job that doesn't involve finances, so please keep in mind as I'm going through this particular asset. My main goal is just to go over the charts as I see them, and if this helps you make a decision on this particular asset, that's fine. For full disclosure's sake, I am currently invested in Stronghold. Therefore, also keep that in mind when as I'm going through this chart. But other than that, let's get started. So I am on the 2-week MEXC chart, or MEXC chart. MEXC is an exchange, and they're one of the charts I saw that had a lot of history. But I don't actually trade this coin on MEXC because it's not available in the United States. Well, and back in, let's see, looks like it was 2024. Stronghold. It started a 27-month bull run and ended up gaining from this little point here about 1,121% gain. But since then, this ended in August of 2025. It's been tanking. It's been definitely in a bear market, and it's been about 17 months, and it lost about 90% of its value. And it looks like here it was trying to start a movement, but this also could maybe be considered a pause. One of the things you can tell on this 2-week chart is that price topped out at the same point, which was about 0.006949 cents, and it has been stuck on this particular trend line here at about 0.4555 cents for about 3 months. It has, and so this trend line is held, but this trend line is also held too. You almost could say we are looking like we're maneuvering into a ranging, uh, ranging, but well, let's take a closer look at it and see. I'm gonna go to the, let's see, let's go to the weekly chart, and I'll go ahead and throw on some moving average. So let's first throw on the 8. As you can see, the price is not respecting the 8 moving average. It's going up and down above the price. If we bring up the 20 moving average, it's starting to creep above. As you can see, it's pierced here. Again, keep in mind this is the weekly chart. It's pierced the moving average. It had a close. It didn't really close behind it. That was a failure. It is it's starting to not respect the 20 moving average. So that's another sign we may be ranging. If you look at the 200, it doesn't show up yet because there's not enough history. And if we look at the 50, it's way up here. It's not involved in the price. That is, excuse me, that isn't surprising because the uh, essentially, we are in a bear market, and so that means that these faster moving averages like the 8 and the 20 are definitely going to be below the 50. Usually in a trending upward market, you want the 50 be on bottom because you want the faster moving averages to be traveling up. All right, so that's on the weekly. Let's drop to the daily, and let's see how we are. On the daily, the moving averages are pretty close together. If you look at the 8, you can see how they're just all crisscrossing. This is a typical ranging pattern. Therefore, you can see that Stronghold is definitely ranging at this point. So it reached a low here, came up, and now it's been ranging since this period of time. And I'm just going to close this. Now, before moving on, I do want to show you something here. There is also a horizontal I'm going to call it, I'm just going to put it right there. And I got to get rid of this color. I don't know how this came about. Let's do yellow here. You have a horizontal resistance line here. You got one, two, I'm going to call that a touch. 3, 4 touches. And then if you go on later in history, even though that pierced through, the body of the candle is touching there. And so this is a strong resistance line here. This is about, look where it is. It's like right at where it double topped at pretty much the same point. Therefore, you have a long resistance line that's vertical. And let me zoom out so you can see that. So you have 1, 2, 3. You get 4, 5. So this is a resistance zone, and this resistance zone is hidden here. Therefore, Stronghold is going to have some issues getting past this particular support resistance zone. Right now, it's resistance, and it would be bullish to be able to get above this trend line and this trend line, but it's definitely going to keep on struggling and hopefully hitting this particular resistance zone and then finally crack it. But as you can tell, it's only done it twice now. And let's see, if we were to look at the distance, if this particular 3-month trend line holds and it goes back up here, that's about a 62% move. So that's not a bad move going from there to there. But obviously we want a higher move. But again, it's going to take some work to get over this particular resistance line. But if you want to invest in Stronghold, keep that in mind that you have very strong resistance area about here. Okay, and as we move on, that you could argue that the resistance zone will continue. Like, for example, you see this intersection here. I'm going to highlight this here. If it gets past this first resistance zone, because as we go to the right, then you're going to start having this area here where you may get stuck again. So you have this one and this one until you get to your next resistance zone, which I'm not going to talk about today. But right now, that's kind of what you're facing is you've got this resistance line here. And as we travel or keep on ranging, if it keeps this particular a parallel channel with the price, then once you pump above this, then you're also going to have to get past this resistance here. Okay, now so that's where we are with Stronghold right now. From a long-term perspective, that doesn't look super exciting. However, I think that we are close to the bear market, and Stronghold, I don't know if it's going to be successful, is going to try to pierce this particular resistance line in this one here pretty soon. So I'm going to go to the weekly chart of Stronghold, where I have the RSI, we have the stochastic RSI, and we have the money flow index. Now, with this latest move that you saw here, if you can see it on the video, is this move from going here, you were at -9% and you were trying to get above back to this resistance line. You had a stochastic RSI cross. It came and barely went above 80, and now it looks like the blue line is crossed below the red line, and therefore momentum is going down. So that's a bad sign. Does it have to go down and cross below this 20? It doesn't. As you can see, you sometimes have these little drops where it goes like this, but that is a bearish sign, so we just have to make note of it that it's bearish. But one of the things that I thought was interesting is we have bullish divergence in this particular chart with the RSI and the money flow index. And I don't run into bullish divergence much on crypto. I saw it on another token recently, but it's not something that I've seen a lot of. I've definitely seen bearish divergence a lot. The most infamous coin that has bearish divergence almost every bull run is Bitcoin. Now, in the stock market, bearish and bullish divergence can take months, sometimes even run years. But when it does happen, a lot of traders and investors get really excited because uh, they see that when you have uh, bullish divergence, it means that even if it doesn't react now, later on it will probably have a surprise explosion that you just don't expect. And that's why whenever you see bullish divergence, and the longer the bullish divergence plays out, the more exciting it gets. So, where is the bullish divergence? Well, it's actually right here in this latest move that we just did. So we take this. Let me just get my trend tool. As you can see, the RSI has been going up, but notice where this point is. It's right there. Notice where this point is. It's the same level, but look at the RSI. It went higher, and it continues to kind of grow up. So that's bullish divergence. The price is either staying the same or going lower while the RSI is grinding up. You can also see this on the money flow index. If you go back to this point here, it was just a little bit after the cross, about right here. Take your trend line, draw it up, and as you can see, it's still grinding higher from the even though the price stopped at the same place, it's still making a higher high. So that's the bullish divergence playing out on the uh, RSI and the money flow index. Now, if you're a first time trader, you go, well, what's the RSI and what's the money flow index? RSI, or relative strength index, measures overbought, oversold, meaning that if you are below 30, you are oversold. And that typically means that that's one of the best times to get into the market. And if you are up here in the 83% area, it means that your particular asset is way overbought, and uh, it means it's not going to have much room to grow, and it could collapse at any time. And then for the money flow index, it has to do with volume versus price, and it measures the same thing of whether an asset is overbought and oversold. And it went into way oversold back here, and since then it has been rising. Uh, so something is keeping the price down, but there's definitely increased volume on this particular coin. Now I want to take a look at one more thing here. I'm going to take a look at the ADX directional index. Let me go ahead and put this on weekly here. And let me go to this Ichimoku cloud. Don't get distracted by it. Just something I was looking at. I'm gonna get rid of the lagging scram. I'm not gonna talk about the Ichimoku, but when you look at this particular directional movement indicator, if you take a look at momentum, we're right now on the weekly chart. We're at 12. This is another sign that we are ranging. This particular white line called the ADX is a momentum. Essentially, it's trying to uh, rate how much momentum there is in a particular stock. Now, we already saw on the stochastic RSI, which was this chart right here, that pretty much SHX is losing momentum. And therefore, usually when you lose momentum, that means the price is going to stop oscillating. Either it's going to stop oscillating higher. And what you can see here is when this momentum gets down, a lot of times the price also decreases, and it may break this particular trend line here. When you look at the ADX, it's at 11, so that means that it's definitely an arranging type situation. Because if you're having a momentum either going upwards or downwards, it would have to be above 20. And we're looking at this from a weekly perspective. So right now, from a weekly perspective, we are not in a trending market. It's definitely showing, and based on what we can see on the price, it's an arranging area right now. So I'm going to get rid of that. If you look, this blue line represents buying, and this red line represents selling. And as you can tell, there's more buyers than there are sellers. One of the nice things I like about this is you do see the buying moving away from the selling. Notice back here as at certain points, especially as we started going downwards in price, the amount of selling started to rise and eventually crossed the blue. And it came close, touched again. It went around this area here. You can see there's way more selling. And therefore, if you look at it from an ADX standpoint, keep in mind, I know this ADX is going down, but around this time, ironically, it was about 19. So, I mean, it's even as it was going down, it wasn't really a crash. It was kind of like a slow process movement. And so I find that interesting, that even though you're seeing the price go down and down and down, uh, it wasn't like a quick sell off. It wasn't like, okay, I'm in Stronghold, I'm ditching it now. It's while you definitely see there were definitely some sellers moving and selling this particular token, it's kind of lowered off, and you're starting to see the buy tokens come in, and you're starting to see the selling pressure go down. So I find that interesting. So to wrap everything up, where are we at with Stronghold? And if you are a trader investor, what is a good plan? Well, this I'm looking at the daily chart right now, uh, just because uh, I'm just gonna throw this up here. Let's see. Let me bring up this box. Okay. If you are not invested in Stronghold and you are interested in investing in it, now actually would not be a bad time, I think, to get into this particular coin if you've never been in it before. You're near the bottom. There obviously it's going to struggle to get above this trend line, and in this particular trend line could break. So you definitely, this is a point of interest. I think anywhere in here would probably be an okay point to start investing if you wanted to scale in. But it could drop lower. Right now, the it's not a strong bearish move as we saw, but there is definitely the momentum is getting worse. And as it gets worse, if this keeps on trending like this way sideways, it causes some frustration in the market, and you may see more asset holders take their money out of Stronghold and maybe switch it to something else that's trending. I do not know, based on this chart, that oh, let's say September 25th is going to break these trend lines and go up. You just can't tell that from the chart. So you got to keep in mind that anything that you're doing is a risk. If you are really worried about losing any type of money, since I'm a long-term investor and trader, I typically am not that worried about it. I'm only investing what I can afford to invest, and I don't usually step stop losses, especially at the beginning. But if it's more of a concern for you, I would put your stop loss below this trend line here, and how much you are able to lose. You could put this lower or right at the trend line. Keep in mind that you could be stopped out. But you could also set buy limits. I think in the short term, if you look at it from this chart, I think it's going to come back down and touch this trend line. So therefore, you could set some buy limits in this area. And if you have money that you can hold and you're really interested in Stronghold, you could set some buy limits in this area too, around this point to here, just in case this trend line breaks. And you would, if you were able to grab it at this particular point, you would increase your take profit area lower at a lower point. So right now, Stronghold is ranging. We are seeing some bullish divergence on the weekly chart. We don't know when that bullish divergence will start making an impact on this particular asset. And I guess I didn't mention this before. I do not. I just want to emphasize, even though we are seeing bullish divergence, I don't have a lot of experience on it on the crypto world. So you're talking, I mean, in crypto for bearish, it can go on for months. I haven't really seen a situation where it goes on for years. So let's just assume, I mean, again, that's a big assumption that we're talking months here for bullish divergence. I wouldn't be surprised because of the bullish divergence. It could have a huge spike. And if you're not in Stronghold when that spike happens, uh, you're going to miss a good part of the move. But again, as you are thinking about what you want to start investing in, because it's getting clearer and clearer that we're getting close to the end of this bear market, and you usually make your money in the bear market. And the reason why I say that is because when you're able to take a chance on a particular asset while it's at its worst, when it does recover, that move from going to the worst to the biggest is where you get a lot of your profits from. So I don't know if Strongholds is something that you're interested in. Again, as I say in a lot of my videos, you should really take this up with the Lord. You should pray about it, and try to get a sense if this is a token that you're meant to kind of get into. Like I mentioned before, I am in the Stronghold token, but that doesn't mean that my Lord Jesus Christ has the same goal for you. He may put you in a better token than what He's putting me in. So that's all I have for today. I hope you have a blessed day, and I do want to mention I am a soccer fan, so go USA Soccer. Bye.